I just want you to imagine a new player. You know, they have the natural islands, the fire islands, and they have light island. They save up some money, so they buy the next island, and after a while, they have the first few monsters. And they go, dang, this goes crazy. So they look it up, and they click on the song. And then they listen to it. And then, oh dang, this goes crazy. This beach are about to be insane. What is this? What's the date on this? Not April 1st. This has to be a fan remix, right? It's in the game. Okay, great prank, John. How could such a devastating thing happen to what would have been a great island? Well, I'll get into that.
What is up, my brethrens? That story is basically what happened to me, and it left me traumatized, scarred, and changed. Today's video is about how Psychic Island's vibe is ruined, and how you can fix it. Before I begin, I must say, nothing. Normally I have something to say, but I don't really have anything to say. So, without any further ado, let's get into it. So I have two things that really kill the psychic vibe for me, with those being the monster sounds and the mixing during specifically the second part. Also, if you don't know, mixing is the loudness of monsters and the timing of said monsters. So for the sound, we first have to identify the problem with said sound, with the problem being that the sound is so drastically different that it feels like a completely different song, killing any immersion that would have existed before. What I mean by different is that it's both different from the previous part and different from itself. It's different from the previous part in that it's just different, like I don't really have to explain anything there. And it's different from itself in the way that it feels like you slapped 3 different songs on top of each other and you just called it a day. So how do you fix this? You just remove Ruba. Maybe you could remove Rudy Toot or Fangler or Octopus or Kana just to solidify the track, but to make it the way that I want it, you would just remove Ruba to make the song a lot better and have the vibe that you had at the start of the song be carried over. Now the mixing definitely is a worse problem. Sure, the sound is bad, but it could have been fixed by good mixing, but it wasn't. So I'm gonna just run down a quick list of all the problems that I have. But first, I'll get into one big problem that I have. This is probably the biggest problem that I have with the mixing, and the fact that it just feels super desynced. Ruba, Rudy Toot, Octopus, Fangler, and Kana, they all feel sort of desynced. Actually, no, not Fangler, Octopus, and Kana. They all feel kind of synced well, but just Rudy Toot, Ruba, and Fangler, they just feel stupid. They don't feel real. But now I'll get into the list of my problems. Number 1, if we're saying that we're keeping Ruba, it's definitely too loud. Number 2, Kana should definitely be a lot louder. 3, make the bonkers a lot louder. 4, make Fangler a tiny bit quieter. 5, add Rudy Toot in the final part instead of every other part. 6, Ruba should play in the middle instead and have them be dropped from the song to add tension. 5 and 6 go hand in hand. I'll explain that when I'm done. And number 7, during Kana's part, tone Galactic down just a very tiny bit. So what I mean by 5 and 6 is, if we're keeping everything the same with the timing, I want them to do a whole different route. I want them to have the song start out at the same way that it is. Then you slowly just remove different monsters. The first time, it has all the monsters. Then the second time, it doesn't have all the monsters. Say you remove Rudy Toot and Ruba. And then the final time, it's just Kana and Octopus and all those guys. So how do you fix all these problems? Well, they're all pretty self-explanatory, but I'll just run through them all. Make Ruba quieter, make Kana louder, make Bonkers louder, make Fangler quieter. See, I told you all these are pretty self-explanatory. With Rudy Toot, I already explained it. With Ruba, I already explained it. Gloptic, tone him down just a very teeny tiny bit. Now the main problems that I talk about with Psychic Island can also be applied to a lot of other islands. Some in more minor ways, but Psychic Island is definitely the biggest example. Amber Island, Magical Sanctum, and the Continent are also pretty big examples of this, in the way that they take after Psychic Island by absolutely murdering their vibe. I'll make videos on them in the future. Also, I know that someone is going to say, well actually Psychic Island was released after the Continent, so it could not take after it. It literally doesn't matter. Also, I have no idea why. That's it for today's video, guys. Yes, the shorts are coming, but I have to work on this video first, so don't complain about it. Also, I want to say thank you for 200 subscribers. The reason why I sound hesitant to say that is because I wrote the script. I wrote 200 subscribers in it but when I finished writing the script, I had just hit 200. But now, this is like the 4th time that I'm recording this because there's been some weird audio things. Something's happening with the stuff, so I had to re-record, and now I'm at like almost 300. By the time I post this, I'm probably gonna be at 300. So I just want to thank you guys so much for all the love, all the support. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Oh, also, I promise this is the final thing. The next video is going to be the part 2 to the Why Are These Monsters So Hated? So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.